Hi, welcome to Conversations with Cards, where we shuffle the cards bring up the conversation, and we talk about it. So today, before I hit the record button, basically, I did some channeling, and it was just a small bit of information that came in that may be relevant to some of you out there. So it's basically, how are you releasing steam? How are you releasing that which is built up and pressurized within you? And I saw perhaps that maybe dancing would be good for some of you, and maybe writing would be good for some of you. So it could be journaling, it could be writing a letter to somebody that you've been procrastinating about. It could be writing a letter and tearing it up and throwing it away, just to get it out of you. So really the message was let go of some of the stuff that's built up inside of you. It's like a pressure cooker in there. So some of you may need to just vent it out in positive, healthy ways. But getting it out of being or feeling like it's within is really going to allow you to shift into a much better feeling place. So let's get to the cards. Let's get to the conversation. I'm going to shuffle. And just do what you need to do. Sometimes I do a mini meditation, but what do you need to do to connect in? I feel connected to all of you already. So through my breath and through my intention, I feel all of your energetic bodies joining in for this conversation. And I hope you feel it too. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. So, quite interesting. I'm going to pull some other cards before I start talking. So, did we have a period of oh goodness, it's like there's been some really, like, we've needed to make choices, or there's been perceived choices that we've needed to make, that we've been working with emotionally, and we may have felt like there's been limitations, or we may have been buying into limitations, or overindulging in things to take us away from and avoiding perhaps making some of those decisions. And some of those decisions could have just been coming in intuitively, but you weren't ready to really embrace them or feel clear about them. But it looks like you've done the work, right? You're being called to action. You are being like reawakened now that you've moved past that, you've worked through that, and you really are again stepping into you. It sounds like a message that perhaps comes a lot, but there are so many layers of ourselves and so much, many different frequencies that we can step into that we already are, but you really are in that phase of having universal support and stepping into it, really feeling it. But this process may have wore you out a little bit, to where you're like, whew, I'm just going to sit down for a minute, and I don't know. Like, I got things to think about. I'm either going to sit here and just sit in my comfortable space, or I may be just a little world weary because some of the things I had to go through to get here have worn me out a little bit. So, and some of you are just stuck in daydream land possibly, and there are things being offered, but you have to pay attention and be mindful of them to take on the offer, because there are going to be some big offers coming to some of you. And some of you just need to, it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. Sometimes it's not. And so you are sitting in that space of that perspective of being able to take a moment, but don't take too long, and decide or feel, is this really true? Like, is the grass really greener on the other side? Oftentimes, perhaps it's not. Perhaps it is. Perhaps it's not. But that's for you to decide. And hopefully, you don't get too lost in the daydreaming of what ifs or what could be's, and you stay in that energy of really being called to action for who you are and enjoying that. You will be getting outside, I don't want to say tests, but there will be things that are coming into your field that will give you cause to really declare and hold your ground as far as, yeah, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, or this is how I'm moving forward. And you have the ability to keep your inner peace, your inner space at your frequency, at your state of being, and rising above and allowing those things to just fall away. Or it may inspire, and you may have a few people that join the party of that perspective, simply by being who you are without trying to change other people's opinions or whatever. You're simply living you and allowing that to emanate out into reality from a non-headspace, from a non-egoic place. It's just like, this is who I am, and you don't wield that in a way. Actually, I'm going to talk about the one card that I drew before I got on. It is the Fox out of the medicine cards. And Fox is a great observer. He is a great caretaker of family, and he has the lovely ability to blend in. And by blending in, you could think he's a fern, you could think he's a tree. He just has, or she has, this ability to observe. And by observing, he's not changing, he or she is not changing his nature or his self, but he's allowed to take in what's going on around him, which taps into his intuition, and allows him to step out and be seen when needed to take care of things. But he can step back into that place of camouflage, so to say, or invisibility, to exist and be within the world and survive and enjoy, but to learn, but to really learn and soak in everything that's going on around him. And it comes from a place of non-reacting. It's a place of observation. And we can all learn a lot from that sort of energy or medicine from the Fox. Okay. This stepping into what I was talking about of being able to be, and when needed, rise to the occasion of sticking up for yourself and keeping your inner peace, or leading by example. There's going to be a lot of giving and receiving going on. Some of you might come into a higher paying job, or get some money that's been owed to you, or you're going to be in a space where you're able to give something that you owed, or it's something that can be helpful to somebody because you have enough, so you're able to give to help. So there's a lot of reciprocity coming in, and just whatever you're owed is coming in, and it's your self-worth, it's exchange. All of that is flowing on a day-to-day level. And it's bringing goodness. There is some news coming, or there will be something coming in that really you're going to start to play with, and it's going to add an additional element of goodness, of emotional support. But it's not necessarily a physical thing. It could be an idea or a word or a concept or some information that gets you inspired and it makes you feel good emotionally. But those emotions or that inspiration or that idea or word is going to be able to shift into a different direction or complement something that you're already doing, and it's bringing a newness in. All right, so let's see. We're going to use the Nature and Soul Yoga Wisdom cards. I'm going to talk a little bit about a chakra with whatever comes up here, oddly enough, and I'm going to see how it elaborates on what is in the current spread for this week or whenever you happen to be watching this. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So it's perspective. All right. We were just talking about that a little bit. So much can shift just by what our brain is and our soul and what our being is perceiving. We know what we know. Sometimes we know what we don't know. We don't always know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So stepping out of a place of all-knowing and not allowing us to have these transcendent moments. And when I'm seeing blue, I'm seeing the throat chakra. So grounding in a perspective, allowing it to go through all of the different energetic frequencies or possibilities that it could be within our energetic body to step up and come into our inner voice. The dolphin is also playful, but here we are again in a blue-green. So it's between the heart and the throat chakra. So within this, we're being asked to really allow the mind and the inner voice to have that moment of non-limitation and coming together to allow the perspectives to continue to shift or to continue to allow us to be and observe and then move forward and lead by example. Or lead by just emanating the peace, the inner peace and the joy of who you are without needing to be anything else around you. All right. I think that's it today. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be back next week. Let me know what you think. Again, I look forward to hearing from all of you, and I'm just so glad that you're tuning in. Thank you for joining me for Conversations with Cards. We'll see you next time. Bye.